In a dusty little village called Abons, nestled between cocoa trees and hills, lived a 19-year-old girl named ESI. ESI was known for her beauty, rich ebony skin, sharp cheekbones, and bright eyes that held more sadness than sparkle. She lived with her widowed mother, Auntie Afua, in a broken mud house with a leaking zinc roof. Life was hard. They survived off roasted plantains, and ESI had dropped out of school to sell ground nuts by the roadside. ESI's dream was to move to Accra and become a fashion designer. She'd sketch dress ideas in a torn notebook and watch Instagram reels on borrowed phones when she could. But fate had other plans. One Sunday afternoon, after church, Auntie Afua called her into the room. "ESI, it's time you marry. I'm tired. I can't take care of you anymore." ESI's heart dropped. Marry? To who? To Kwame, the boy who came from Kumasi. His uncle says he's humble and ready. ESI's soul screamed, but her mouth stayed shut. She had no choice. Girls in Abons weren't allowed to say no. By the following week, a small wedding was held. No makeup. No photos. Just a small party with fufu and light soup. Her husband, Kwame, wore dusty trousers, sandals, and looked plain, just a regular, average broke man. But oh, nothing was as it seemed. At first, their marriage was quiet. Kwame barely spoke. He farmed during the day and disappeared in the evenings. But strange things began happening. ESI noticed he always had fresh 100 cedi notes, though he never sold anything from his farm. He once handed a crying mother GHC 2,000 for her son's hospital bills. He said nothing about it afterward. He'd also randomly disappear for 2 or 3 days and return clean, with a new scent and glowing skin. ESI started asking questions. Kwame would smile and say, "I'm just lucky." One evening, while washing his dirty trousers, ESI found a black card tucked deep inside his pocket. A MasterCard World Elite with his name on it, Kwame A. Boateng. Confused, she Googled it on a borrowed phone and saw that only the ultra-rich used that card. Her heart raced. She began spying on him. One night, she followed him discreetly on foot. He got into a black SUV parked behind the bush, driven by a man in suit and shades. She hid behind a cocoa tree and watched them drive off. The next day, he was back like nothing happened. ESI confronted him. "Who are you really?" Kwame stared at her for a long minute. "I'm not poor. I'm the CEO of Boateng Tech Empire in Accra. I came here to hide after being betrayed by my ex-fiancé and brother. They sold me out, tried to take over my company. I needed peace. So I disguised myself, changed my look, and came here to heal. Then I met you." ESI's jaw dropped. "You're lying." He took her to Accra that weekend. They arrived at a sky-high glass mansion in East Legon. Maids bowed. Security saluted. ESI almost fainted. Inside was gold furniture, white marble floors, and a photo of Kwame in a suit on a Forbes magazine framed on the wall. She cried. Not because he was rich, but because she almost missed out on everything due to forced marriage. But the twist wasn't over. A week later, while they were adjusting to luxury life, ESI got a message from Amma, her best friend from the village. "ESI, be careful. Kwame's ex-fiancé is back in the village looking for you. She says you ruined her life." Turns out, Kwame's ex, Sandra, wasn't just bitter, she was a politician's daughter with connections. She came with fire, lawyers, and fake documents trying to claim that the marriage was illegal, that ESI was a minor, that Kwame was mentally unfit. The media in Accra exploded. Billionaire marries village girl in secret, scandal rocks Boateng empire. Sandra released nudes of herself and Kwame from years ago, trying to ruin his image. She claimed ESI used juju to trap him. Rumors spread like wildfire. ESI was dragged online. People mocked her poor English, called her a gold digger, a witch, a scammer. It broke her. Kwame, however, stood firm. He made a viral Instagram live. I married ESI when she had nothing. She had no wig, no phone, not even shoes. And that was the best decision of my life. If I lose my company, my money, my empire, I'll still choose her. Collision. The internet flipped. ESI became a national sweetheart overnight. But Sandra wasn't done. She tried to bribe Auntie Afua with GHC 50,000 to say ESI had been forced into the marriage. And here came the most shocking twist. Auntie Afua agreed. She went live on radio. I forced ESI into the marriage. She didn't love him. It was all for money. ESI collapsed. Betrayed by her own mother. But Kwame had prepared for this. He had hidden recordings from the day of the wedding, showing ESI's mother begging for the marriage to happen. And in one clip, she said, I know you're not poor, Kwame. Just take her and change our lives. Kwame released it to the press. Fire boom. Auntie Afua was exposed. Sandra was humiliated. The entire country sided with ESI and Kwame. ESI used her newfound fame to launch her fashion brand, ESI's Threads, focusing on village-style prints with modern twists. It became a massive hit. And as for Sandra? She left Ghana in shame. And Auntie Afua? She was forgiven, but only after she publicly apologized to ESI and served 6 months in a prayer camp for deliverance. ESI and Kwame renewed their vows, this time on a beach in Ada, with helicopters in the sky and fireworks in the stars. And the poor girl from the village? She didn't just marry a billionaire. She became one.